Hello and welcome race fans to the Late Apex Racing Club at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is race 2 of 8 for Season 3 and the first of our 4 endurance rounds. Today's race length will be 50 minutes and drivers are limited to 50% fuel, meaning they will be required to stop at least once during the race. Tires are not required, but some drivers will elect to change one or more during their stop. Layout for today's race will be the 2019 layout, which has a bit more of a curvy infield. It does not have that sharp hairpin before entering the oval section. This is a track that these drivers should be familiar with, but the conditions are far from ideal. Drivers have reported in practice that the track was feeling a bit greasy and grip was at a premium. There's a few keys to today's race. Number 1, stay out of the wall. It's easier said than done, but even minor steering or aero damage can prove to be disastrous over the course of the race. Number 2, protect that right front tire. It's as the drivers will be racing on the Roval course, that right front tire is going to need to be protected in order for it to prevent overheating. The high stresses on the banking could lead to loss of grip on the infield section. And 3, patience. Letting the tires grip up and save some fuel will pay dividends later in the race. The drivers have 50 minutes to make up positions, so there's no need to gamble on the first few laps. Conditions for today's race are pretty good. Other than the greasy track, the track temperature is only about 32 degrees Celsius, so a bit warmer than last week, but not a concern. The humidity is about 44%, but there's no rain in the forecast. It should be dry all the way throughout and low winds. We are following some of the Mustangs of our field. We have Raymond 2, Matthew Mayer, and Damon Mitchell on screen. And let me get us to the end of qualifying. Raymond 2 puts it on pole in the B4D Weenie Hut Racing Mustang with a 122.7. Matt Best, this is his first race of Season 3. He has raced with us before. He's in the BMW as a privateer, and he starts along the front row with a 122.8. Matthew Mayer and Damon Mitchell will be on your second row, and Chris McDonald, Fouad Al-Rajla, 5th and 6th. Lieutenant Dan will start next to Mark Darnell in 7th and 8th, and Mike Dalmeda and Connor Arcatella, the Ball Crushing Industries Aston Martins, will start 9th and 10th, and Jason Lynn rounds out our field in 11th in the Big Honkers Mercedes. As you can see here, Connor Arcatella starting 10th, not exactly the qualifying that he would have liked, especially considering that he's qualified second in the previous week. Just goes to show the differences between tracks that some of these cars can face. The Aston Martin really does not feel super happy here at Charlotte for whatever reason, whether it's the curbs or the track conditions or whatever the case may be. But both Connor and Mike will probably be looking to make up some positions. Again, patience. You don't have to force anything in lap 1, turn 1. But they'll be looking to make some moves early to get back into that lead pack. All right, the pace truck is off, so we'll go ahead and follow our cars through the chicane here. Raymond 2, our points leader, will lead them through. We have Mustangs starting in 5 of the top 6 places. So once again, Mustang proving to be a, well, people like the Mustang. Well, that BMW for Matt Best will be quite the challenger for today. A lot of these drivers are familiar with each other, racing in other series, Alpha Touring Challenge, SCEL. And the pace truck dives into the pit lane. They make their way through the last chicane. Raymond 2 takes a lot of curb, but he gets a great jump. And the drivers, no drama through turn 1. it looks like. We're all safely navigating. Connor Catello makes his way past Mark Darnell. And will ride on board with Lieutenant Dan as he looks to fend off Connor Catello. Up front, Raymond 2 leads Matt Best as they make their way around the track. Get the track map up there for you. So they head on to the banking part of the Roval. Mustang's going to have a little bit stretching his legs here. But it's heavy braking into the first chicane. Gonna have to ride those sausage curbs. Hopefully the car's not too upset. And at some point Connor did get around Lieutenant Dan. So he's already making some moves, up 3 positions so far. And behind, we have a nice little battle here. Lieutenant Dan goes very high in the banking. That allows Mark Darnell to take the racing line into the chicane and take 8th position. Behind Mike Dallamina is going to look to follow his teammate along. Not quite yet. Still getting those tires up to temperature. Still feeling out the car. Maybe didn't quite feel quite as comfortable the opening laps until those tires are warm. But we'll see a driver of his caliber make his way up the field sooner rather than later. Front we have a nice little 3-way battle with Wad Al-Rishla and the Bing Chilling Mustang leading Chris McDonald and the Rubencock Racing other Mustang. And Connor Catello gets a great run onto the banking. He goes a high, then tucks back in. See if he can get that draft. But he's looking up to make up another place if he can. He's going to get a great exit out of the chicane here. That Mustang punches a big hole in the air for that Aston Martin to slip on by if he can. That chicane is very dangerous. You take the curbs too much and you'll go straight into the wall. That is not something you want to do, especially this early in the race. Now, I will say, if you do make a mistake within the pit window, it's not the worst thing in the world. These drivers do have a fast repair that they can use to get their car repaired quickly. And if you can do it by driving back to pit lane without losing too much time, it's not going to hurt you that much. But if you strike the wall hard enough and get a meatball before that pit window, it's going to mean an extra pit stop and you're going to lose a ton of time. Alternatively, if you get a meatball after you've already made your pit stop, it's going to lose you a bunch of time as well. So if you're going to crash, make sure you do it within the pit window before you pit. Wad Al-Rishla leading this small pack here. And Connor is inches off of Chris McDonald's bumper. You'll see a little bit of pack racing here. The Roval portion, it's a little bit difficult to pass. Not incredibly so. There are some good passing zones, but the draft is very important. And you're going to see a lot of drivers just save those tires. They're really going to be watching out for that right front tire in particular. They're going to be trying to save some fuel. Any little bit of fuel that you can save, go an extra lap, an extra 2 laps. It's less fuel that you have to put in the car during the pit stop. It's earlier you get back on track. Some potential positions to make up. So you'll see a little bit more patience out of some of these drivers, which will lead to kind of these little mini packs forming up. Up front, Raymond 2 has a nice, comfortable 0.6 of a second lead over Matt Best. Just setting the pace. No concerns as of yet for him. While Matt Best looks speedy in that Texas Speed machine. Some absolutely wonderful liveries. This is one of the best looking leagues I think is out there. We'll hop back to Connor Arcatella in his battle with Chris McDonald. We'll throw up some sector times here. Sector 1, oh, that's between Darnell and Arcatella. Let's see here. There we go. So on that lap, oh, and it just refreshes. Connor Arcatella actually makes the move into turn 1. Sometimes you're looking at the data and the race is playing out in front of you. You gotta watch out for that too. So Connor Arcatella makes his way up to 6th place, up 4 positions now. And he'll be free to hunt down Fouad Al-Rajla in the being Chilling Mustang. Fouad also up 1 place. But right now, Chris McDonald's troubles are not over. Mark Darnell in the BMW is looking to capitalize as well, maybe follow Connor through. Right now, Darnell a little bit faster. Section 1, I think that's where the pass was made on Chris, so that slowed him down a bit. But even Sector 2, Sector 3, just getting a little bit closer each time. We'll ride aboard Darnell as he looks to make a move into turn 1. He gets it done, hops over that curb, he leaves room on the outside, but McDonald files in. Again, not fighting too hard this early on. The last thing you want to do is make a mistake outside the pit window and really ruin your race. It's better just to feel out the car. Speaking of, Mike Dalmeda catching up to this pack. Feel out the car, and then push it just a little bit further each lap as you find the limit and find a nice pace to settle into. We'll talk a little bit about pit strategy. Again, these cars have 50% fuel for this race. So they'll be able to go pretty deep into their stint without having to stop for their pit stop. Tires is an interesting strategy. Some drivers will take fronts, some will take rears, some will take no tires, some will take 1 tire. It's really up to them, and it's hard to say whether there's a perfect strategy or not. You'll see a lot of different we'll see what drivers do here. One thing is the 1 tire is free because you're going to be able to change that tire during the refueling. So the cars will be refueled. You can take 1 tire for free. 2 is not going to cost you more than a couple of seconds. So you can take fronts, you can take rears. It will only cost a couple of seconds, and then you'll have fresh set for the rest of the race. However, you will have cold tires then. And however long it takes to warm up those tires, you have to factor that in on your outlap. Is that a concern? Will you be faster taking the tires and getting them up to speed and having fresh tires for the end of the race? Or is it better just to keep the warm tires on the car and let them cool off a little bit during the refueling, get back out there, they're still ready to push as much as you need to. We'll see what the best strategy is later on in the race. Jump to Fouad Al-Rajla. He's got about a 4/10 of a second lead over Connor Arcatella. And that is for 5th place. Connor Cartella really feeling at home now with the tires all warmed up, and he is slowly closing that gap, lap over lap, over Al Rijla. There's not a lot of room to make a move in the infield section of the track. Most of your passes are going to happen into turn 1. Alternatively, if you can get a good run, heavy braking zone into the chicanes are another opportunity. You just need to make sure that you're leaving enough room for the drivers to navigate. You don't want to cause an incident, especially over those sausage curbs. That could end in tears for one or both drivers. Up front, Raymond 2, his gap on Matt Bess has closed up. Whoa, Matt Bess going very wide at the exit of the corner there. But he is right on the tail. We have a fight for the lead, which is something that I was not really able to say last race, as both Matthew Mayer just drove off into the distance in race 1, and Raymond 2, once he got past a couple drivers on the invert, he was checked out for race 2. So this is the first opportunity to see a battle for the lead take place on track. The B4D Weenie Hut Racing Machine has a slight advantage, but that gap's down to 1/10. Let's see if Matt Bess is going to look to make a move on the outside. Goes high on the banking. That will be the inside for the chicane. And Raymond 2 says, yeah, that was pretty good. I'll get you next time. And lets it by. We'll see what kind of pace that Bess can muster up now that he has clean air. And maybe that Mustang in the draft can catch back up. Maybe Matt Bess will start to pull a gap. We'll find out. Right now we have the Texas Speed BMW in front. Further back, Fuad Al-Rijla still leads Connor Acatella. And Connor might be content just to stay in the Mustang's draft, save some fuel, save the tires. See if he can get him on the pit strategy. Fuad's lost the lead pack, but he is still driving in a very respectable 5th place right now. As once again they go over the sausage curbs. Fuad goes defensive into turn 1. Takes it a little bit narrow. It's going to allow Connor Acatella to creep up just a little bit, but there's not going to be a ton of room here. If Connor wants to make a move in the infield section, he's going to have to take it by surprise. And in the infield, the Mustang just looks a little bit more planted, a little bit more composed. And Al-Rijla looks to build up a little bit of a gap entering the banked section. Further behind, we have Chris McDonald looking to keep up with Mark Darnell. See if he can make up a position. Throw the lap times up. On that lap, lap 9, 3/10 better. So it looks like Darnell, who had been enjoying a little bit of a pace differential advantage over McDonald, may start to either be feeling that right front tire start to overheat a bit, or Chris McDonald is just finally able to get to grips with the Mustang and get a little bit more pace out of it. Again, lap 10, another 3/10 into that gap. Probably look to set him up somewhere on the oval section, perhaps into the first chicane, or perhaps into turn 1. See what happens. But he's right on the bumper now. And you can see the lap time. Darnell is definitely a lot slower than he was a couple laps ago. Heavy braking into the chicane, eating up as much curb as you feel comfortable with. That Mustang's going to have a lot of power onto the oval section. Nothing doing this time, but we do have our first pit stop of the day. We have Matthew Mayer making his stop only 17 minutes into this race. It seems early. But he had a little bit of damage too to that front bumper, so I wonder if he was just feeling like he needed to... I'm sorry, I got distracted by the pit crew with the lingerie. Maybe decided, hey, I have a little bit of damage here. Let's get this stop done as quickly as possible within the fuel window. Get that damage repaired and get back out there. We'll see if that pays off. Fuad Alregiola still leading Connor Riccatello, this time by about 4/10, 5/10 or so. And Jason Lynn looks like he had a little bit of trouble, but he is back on track and continuing. Matthew Mayer behind. It's not a blue flag situation, but Jason, no, that's not his battle, as Mayer's already made his pit stop. Doesn't look like there's too much damage there to Jason's car, so he will continue. Connor Riccatello right behind Alregiola now. And again goes wide into the entry to try to set up a good exit. But there's not going to be room to pass here. Alregiola does not have to go super defensive. All he needs to do is make sure that he gets the best exit onto the banking that he can. Although Acatella gets the power down a little bit earlier, and he goes higher on the banking, he's going to get a bit of side draft, but he's not going to have the preferred line into the chicane. Fuad goes defensive, hard on the brakes. Acatella's going to get a better exit. And once again, Acatella goes high. They'll be side to side, side by side into the next chicane. But I don't know if there's enough room to get the job done this time. Great piece of defensive driving from Alregiola as he looks to keep the Aston Martin behind him. Up front, Matt Best continues to lead the field here. Raymond too, hot on his heels, but gap's been about 4/10 consistently. It looks like the Mustang might have touched the wall there. We'll have to watch out for damage. This is known to be a track that has a higher fatality rate. The walls here, they're not forgiving. And there's another strike, that time on Matt Pescar as he exits the chicane. I doubt we'll have many straight bumpers by the end of this. The drivers are going to have to be mindful of off tracks as well. It's 15 X's. There's another strike. 15 X's before a drive-through penalty. And it's very easy to pick one up in the chicanes, as you're looking to cut as much curb as you can, ride the sausages. However, you're an inch off and then suddenly it's an off track. So they're going to have to be aware of that. 50 minutes is a long time to race. You don't have to worry about it so much in the sprint races because they're only 20 or 25 minutes long. But in these races, as they're double the length, the limit is the same. So per lap, you have to be a little bit cleaner. These two drivers are giving it as much as they can. You can tell by the wall strikes, but they're pulling away from the field. Damon Mitchell's in third place, and he is 13 seconds behind. He's in a podium position, but yeah, definitely a pace differential between top two and the rest of the field. And we do have somebody in pit lane. It's Raymond too. He's going to make his first stop and hopefully only stop. And as we say that, Connor Arcatella finally gets around Fuad Al-Rijla. They're side by side through the banking. And Al-Rijla gets back in front. Has the preferred line through that last chicane. It'll make it stick. Raymond 2 finally stops. Looks like no tires for him. Just fuel. And we'll jump to Mike Delmia, who gets around Chris McDonald. So Darnell maybe slowed up McDonald a bit, and that caused McDonald to maybe take evasive measures, or maybe just bunch the pack up, and Mike Delmia says, hey, this is great. Let's see if we can jump too. Darnell goes very wide. He is really feeling that right front not cooperate with him. Lots of understeer. And I think both McDonald and D'Almeida will get him here. And Darnell falls to 7th place. Fuad Al-Rijla and Connor Arcatella still not giving up the fight here. They're pushing about as hard as they can in this first stint. As they make their way through the infield section, I wonder if Arcatella's saved any fuel. He's been behind them this whole time. If he's able to save fuel, he has a chance of getting by during the stop, and there's a strike. We haven't seen any full-on wrecks yet. Just a spin and a little bit of wall tapping. Drivers are doing a great job playing it relatively safe. Still push in as best they can. I feel like most of the rest of the drivers will probably pit somewhere around, around now, between 25 and 30 minutes. If you are going to change a tire, it's probably better to do it a little bit earlier, so that tire is nice and warm for the end of the race. Oh, there's another wall strike as Acatella just washes out onto that banking. So be very careful with that corner. You need to cut it as close as you can to the wall on the driver's side as you enter the curve, and then get the power down early, but not too early, because then you'll just wash out on the passenger side into the wall, the banking. Damon Mitchell making his stop. He's having a nice race so far. In third position. So he'll be looking to come out with a little bit of a gap if he can. See if he takes tires. He does. He takes at least one, if not multiple. So he's elected for a fresh rubber. We'll see how his lap times fare. We're 27 minutes into this 50-minute race, so just past halfway. And Raymond 2 making up a position on Lieutenant Dan for P7. Lieutenant Dan yet to pit. I think it's important for us to start to look for any indications of damage on these cars that have made their pit stop. As this race goes on, lots of little tiny mistakes tend to add up. And since they've already pitted, they will not have that fast repair to pop that bumper back into place or fix that steering damage. So we'll be on the lookout. Matt Best is enjoying a nice 21-second lead. I'm sure that Raymond 2 is looking to undercut as best he can. Matt Best says, yeah, sure, go ahead. Let's see what that gets you. I'm just going to drive till the tank's empty. And, you know, that's good strategy as well, because the car's going to be a lot lighter as you burn off more fuel. So theoretically, you'll have quicker lap times. And if you're not going to change tires anyways, you might as well go as long as you can. Another advantage is you save that fast repair. It's in his pocket. If he makes a mistake and ends up in the wall before he pits, again, he can limp back to pits. He can take that fast repair and get back out there during his normal stop. Oh, and he comes. But if you do that after, if you crash after, you're going to be in a world of hurt. So he makes his way down pit lane. We'll see if he elects to take any tires. Matt Best sporting the Sports Car Endurance League SEL banners. That is in Endurance League, multi-class racing, GT4s, the BMW M2, and the GR86 in 2-hour 40-minute races. Excellent run league. Again, these drivers race each other in various leagues. They're teammates with each other. They're rivals in one league and teammates in another. It's fascinating to see these guys out on track. And Matt Best stays in front of Raymond 2, so the overcut seems to be paying dividends here. As before they pit, Best had about 4/10 of a lead, 4/10 of a second, and right now it's about 2.5, or 2 2 3/4. Fuad Al-Rajala did pit, so that leaves Connor Acatella out front, leading some laps. And like we had imagined earlier, he was able to save some fuel based on being behind Al-Rajala for so long. He's going to be looking to maximize this time here with the clean air. Try to put in his best laps so that he can come out in front of Al-Rajala. Chris McDonald and Mike Almeida both pitting at the same time. So they've saved quite a bit of fuel. And Matthew Mayer gets around them. Mayer not showing the pace that he had in race 1. He's, let's see, was that about 7 seconds back of Raymond 2, about 10 seconds back at the leader. Maybe not feeling the Mustang at this track in these conditions. But he'll be looking to see if he can make up as much time as he can. But right now, everybody except Connor Acatella has made their stop. And in comes Acatella. With the beautiful sounding Aston Martin V8. Matt Best goes by and takes over the lead at this race. Again, sparks flying off the car. There's not an inch to give. Raymond 2 falling way back now. He was about 2 seconds back, and now he's closer to 4. Not sure what happened, but he's lost a lot of time. We'll see if we can follow Connor Acatella and see if his overcut on Fuad Al-Rajala has paid off. And he exits the pits well in front. So he saved a lot of fuel. David Mitchell taking tires. A little bit of a longer stop. About 4 seconds longer than Connor Acatella and Matthew Mayer. So maybe he'll have fresher tires for the end, but he did lose a position, or 2 positions, with Mayer and Acatella getting by. Acatella up 6 positions in this race so far. Really showing the pace once starting to feel comfortable in the car. Right now everyone is just getting up to speed after their pit stops. We'll just have it here on Lieutenant Dan for a while. Enjoy his beautiful livery. And go through some of these. Let's see if I can pull up the data. Pit stop time. So some interesting strategy here. Matthew Mayer, only 16.2 seconds stationary. So by far put in the fewest amount of fuel. We'll see if that's enough for this race. He might be tight if he pit it early and he did not put that much fuel in the car. So we'll see what that looks like towards the end of this race. And if we go to total time on pits, again, Matthew Mayer, quickest pit stop and quickest time in pit lane. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. It's hard to say who took tires and who didn't. Because the one tire is free, like we said, and if you wanted to take a pair, it's only going to cost you a couple of extra seconds. I can tell you, Matthew Mayer probably did not, and Connor Riccitiello probably did not take tires at that time. Or if they did, they only took one. We are 36 minutes into our race. Things have spread out just a little bit. We'll stick with David Mitchell for now. The groomed Cock Racing Mustang. He leads Fuad Al-Rijla in the Bing Chilling Machine. And he'll be looking to chase down Connor Riccitiello. So here are some of our movers. Magdi Almeida up a couple of positions. Connor Riccitiello up 6. It's going to be good points for the Ball Crushing Industries Aston Martins. We haven't talked about the team championship yet today. Raymond too, without his teammate Kurt Smith, he's going to have to go solo again. Kurt Smith, again, not making it past lap 1 in race 1. So the points for the B4D Weenie Hut Racing Machine solely Raymond 2's, and he's going to do his best in the team, but he's got some tough competition. Bing Chilling, looking all right so far. Matthew Mayer in 3rd, Fuad Al-Rijla in 6th. Some decent points for them. And Ball Crushing Industries, you know, the start of the day didn't look particularly really great, but they've made their way up. And they'll have a good points haul as well if things finish in this order. We'll ride aboard with Damon Mitchell and listen to that Coyote V8. Drivers getting as close as they can to the wall. You really have to use every inch of the track that you can. Lifting there. A little bit of a counter steer at the entry of the corner, and then understeer as he tries to get the car turned. Again, the car not particularly happy with this infield section. Oh, there's another counter steer. He's driving more with the rear tires, steering with the rear tires, I should say, than the fronts. Cutting that as close to the inside wall as you can. Try not to wash out into the upper wall. He gets the power down. Heavy braking into the chicane, rolling up on those sausage curbs, get the power down as early as you can. You can cut over that painted section of the track. On this roval, it's perfectly acceptable. Onto the banking in preparation for the second chicane. Our closest battle on track is Chris McDonald chasing down Mike D'Almeida. I hear a car that's not happy with its tires, and that's David Mitchell, and that's Fuad Al-Rijla as well. Fuad Al-Rijla with major damage on that front end of his car, and David Mitchell's Mustang. Looks like that also has damage. They weren't particularly close. I wonder if Mitchell had some kind of an issue, started to slide. Fuad tried to take evasive action and ended up in the rear. Don't want to speculate, but definitely some contact between the two. And this just groups up the whole pack. That front end damage to the Al-Rijla Mustang is really going to slow him down. We'll see if we can get a better look at Mitchell's Mustang. We're looking at that rear bumper to see if it's aligned. Yeah, definitely askew. So we'll see if that's going to affect his handling at all. Even if it feels okay, if you have one of your tires knocked out of alignment, that can really hurt with the overall performance, as that tire may overheat. It just doesn't give you the grip that you need, especially over, you know, lap after lap. He's keeping up with the pack okay, so it must not be too bad for now. He's staying with his teammate, McDonald. And up front, I guess that Mustang's not too slowed up. It's a pretty blunt front end anyways. And I'm sure Connor's licking his lips, seeing the contact in front of him, going, all right, let's, we've already made up 6 positions, let's make it 7. Oh, there's a wall strike for Mitchell. And I think that handling is just probably not where he wants it right now with that damage. Oh, a big drift. That was sick. He keeps it out of the wall and continues on. Darnell catches up and says, where did you come from? I got somebody to battle. Let's go. Be interesting to see here. We have a fast driver in a broken car and a slow driver in a perfectly perfect car. See which one's faster. We'll keep an eye on that, but we'll go ahead to and skip ahead to this 3-way battle for 5th place. Al-Rijla has spent the better part of 44 minutes looking in his mirrors at a ball-crushing Industry Aston Martin. But he's doing a great job trying to stay them off as best he can. Again, going to be a little bit more difficult with that damage on the front end. So far, he's keeping pace. We have 5 minutes left of this race. And a little bit of evasive action from Chris McDonald. I think he had to avoid an awkward moment with Mike D'Almeida in front, and that took him out of this close group. If we look at Mark Darnell, he is not able to catch Damon Mitchell. So to answer the question there, a fast driver in a broken car, faster than a slow driver in a perfect car. This is your closest battle on track. Matt Best up front is driving away from Raymond too. I think Raymond must be nursing some kind of battle damage. We'll see if we can get a look at his car. Front end looks okay. Rear end, hard to tell. If we can get on board. See if his steering's wonky at all. It doesn't look particularly great. So at some point, looks like he may have picked up some damage from a wall strike, and that's a lot of oversteer. Getting the power down. So Matt Best, this is his race to, don't want to jinx anybody, but he's got an 8-second lead, 4 minutes left. He can pretty much cruise. All he has to do is stay out of the walls from here on out, and he'll pick up a victory. Chris McDonald makes a move on Mike D'Almeida and moves up into 6th place. Chris feeling a lot more comfortable in the car now than he was at the beginning of the race. It's kind of went, he dropped in the order quite a bit to start. But again, patience really worked well for him. After the pit stop, he seems to have gathered quite a bit more pace. And we lose him for a minute. There he is. And he's back to within 1 position. He qualified 5th, and right now he's running in 6th place and looking to get back to where he started. We'll keep an eye on his connection issues. Together for about 2 more minutes. Don't want to jump away because this is the tightest battle. Sorry for the flickering. It's got to be pretty scary for D'Almeida as he looks to chase down a ghost car. D'Almeida going a little bit wide, again taking a bit of evasive action as McDonald takes the apex, but you're never really sure where that car is, especially when they blink out for a second or more. You have to be extra cautious. The last thing you want to do is end up where they are when they blink back into existence. Just sim racing things. D'Almeida takes a tight line and gets the power down early, but he's lost a little bit through the infield section to the Mustangs up ahead. We will have 1 more lap. Matt Best making his way through. We are officially at 50 minutes. And he has 11 seconds over Raymond 2. Matthew Mayer in third. Never really made up the positions, but he did not have to pit a second time. So he's probably able to save some fuel. And the short pit stop does not seem to be at least a catastrophic mistake. But we have Matt Best. Cross the line. Wins race 2 of season 3, the Late Apex Racing Club. Congratulations to him. Had a few wall strikes, but nothing major. His car seemed to be okay and was able to survive when others were not. Raymond 2 comes in second in the Weenie Hut General Racing Machine. Matthew Mayer finishes third. Connor Catella finishes fourth. And Fuad Al-Rijla looks to hold off Chris McDonald and a hard-charging Mike Almeida for fifth place. Mark Darnell rounds the last chicane and did get around David Mitchell. Wonder if Mitchell had one more exciting moment and decides to end it right there. Lieutenant Dan didn't talk much about him today. Finishes 10th. He's the only mid-engine car out there for this race in the McLaren. And Jason Lynn finishes 11th. So here are your results on screen. As I just went through them, I will not read through them again, but here they are in case you'd like to see them. We'll take a look at our championship standings. And once again, that's not it. See if I can get this right. Some victory celebrations here of some measure. And we'll see if we can get those standings up here in a second. All right. My apologies for that. This was before the race. We had Raymond 2, Matthew Mayer, Damon Mitchell. And after today's round, Raymond 2 maintains his lead with 108 points. Matthew Mayer still second with 99. Connor Ecatella moves up 4 positions and over the 2 races has collected 65 points. Chris McDonald also moves up a place to 4th. And Damon Mitchell is currently 5th. Matt Best wins today, wins 60 points. And he rockets all the way up to 6th place. Fuad Al-Rijla 7th, Mike Almeida 8th. Logan McKenzie did not participate today, but still in 9th. Mark Darnell rounds out your top 10. Lieutenant Dan 11th, Jason Lynn 12th, Slugnificent 13th. Matthew Berger 14th, Austin Dunbar 15th, Ethan Brown 16th, Jeremy Barber 17th, and Kurt Smith 18th. For the team standings, after this round, Bing Chilling moves up to the lead with 155 points. Groomed Cock Racing drops down just a bit to 2nd place, 123 points. Ball Crushing Industries gets a good point haul for today, moves up into 3rd place with 119 points. B4D Weenie Hut Racing is 4th, with Roadkill Racing not participating today, dropping down to 5th. Beaver Busters 6th, Horny Toad Racing 7th, and Big Honkers 8th. As the post-race celebrations continue, I just want to say thank you for joining us for Race 2 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Next week, the Late Apex Racing Club heads to the Motor City for a sprint weekend at Belle Isle. We hope to see you there.